The 2026 iteration of Razer's top-of-the-line gaming laptop, the Blade 18, offers, once again, a pretty fantastic combination of being among the fastest notebooks you can buy while still being able to reliably cool the pretty beefy core components inside a super sleek and incredibly premium chassis. On top of basically offering desktop-class performance, the massive 18-incher also stays remarkably quiet, even under load and even in its performance mode. And yes, we still do not get any mini LED options, but the dual-mode 4K 240Hz panel is still excellent, and no matter if you are looking for an almost luxurious gaming experience or for one of the best creator laptops in this class, the Blade got you covered. Unfortunately, it also does not really offer anything new, apart from a refreshed CPU, and thanks to the ongoing memory and storage situation, it also got more expensive. So you will probably be better off trying to get a 2025 model as long as you still can. Let's get into it. Again, in terms of specs, the Blade 18 only gets the update to the Core Ultra 9 290HX Plus. And even that is hardly something that should make any difference to your overall computing experience, since it's basically a 275 or 285HX just with slightly higher clock speeds. Still, with up to 160 watts of power draw, it can sit on top of our CPU rating, even though the differences between the other high-end 18-inch contenders are incredibly small, and our isolated Cinebench 24 results make you question if the CPU upgrade was even worth it in the end, but more about that later. Our sample pairs the 290HX Plus with NVIDIA's RTX 5090, of course running at its maximum wattage of 175 watts, alongside 32 gigs of RAM and a 2TB SSD. Below the button cover you have access to a pair of SODIMMs and NVMe slots, so should you be able to find decent deals for RAM and storage, you can easily expand things in the future. The keen-eyed among you probably also noticed that the bottom does not offer the RGB illuminated glass cover anymore, and while it didn't really make sense in the first place, I must admit I'm still kind of sad to see it gone. And if you ask me, it's just another small thing that overall makes the Blade 18 2026 appear to be a bit less than its direct predecessor. And like with so many other laptops we tested this year, it's just really not a good time for notebooks as a whole, and especially for high-end gamers, since while our sample from last year was cheaper, it also came with 64 gigs of RAM and 4 TB of storage, which is just so much more appealing when you spend this much for a laptop that more often than not will probably be used as a professional tool than just for gaming. Just keep in mind that this is probably not entirely Razer's fault here, and I'm sure they would love to keep prices a bit more competitive, but they also have to buy and source RAM and storage. So I'm pretty sure it's also not a good time for them as well. But of course, this does not really change the fact that if you're on the market for a laptop right now, you have to be prepared to face a very different pricing structure compared to 2025. Alright, with that out of the way, how about I give you a quick recap of what you can expect from the Blade 18 in general. And I won't spend too much time here since, again, overall, this is basically the same laptop from last year. Once again, you get a full aluminum, full metal, all black chassis, and Razer is doing what Razer does best, and you will have a hard time finding a similarly premium 18-incher that, despite its performance potential and feature set, still manages to keep things relatively compact, with overall weight still being somewhat bearable, at least compared to something like the Area 51 from Alienware. Chassis flex is also a complete non-issue for the Blade, and the hinges are very well adjusted. And adding in the extensive port arrangement with the power connector, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, a pair of USB-A 3.2 Gen 2s, a Thunderbolt 4 and the headphone jack on the left, and the HDMI 2.1, a third USB-A and a Thunderbolt 5 alongside a very speedy full-size SD card reader on the right, the Razer makes for an excellent desktop replacement that is still somewhat portable. I also used the predecessor for quite a few months in late 2025 and early 2026 as my daily driver and main workstation, and it worked incredibly incredibly well for me, especially for our video production for the channel. And it's this sort of creator gaming hybrid that can really do it all. For everything that needs a massive amount of computing power, be it in video production, CGI workflows, or really any other power user scenarios that need a ton of GPU and CPU performance potential, all wrapped up in a subtly looking package. On the display side of things, everything stays the same as well, and yes, a mini LED option would have been great, I'm not going to lie, but it would probably have made things even more expensive. And as it is, the panel offers a great experience for content creation things, thanks to the crisp 4K resolution, while also being a great fit for AAA story games, with the added benefit of the Full HD mode bumping up the refresh rate from 240 to a whopping 440 Hz for when you want to click on heads as fast as possible in those super sweaty competitive titles. Alright, so that pretty much leaves us with GPU and gaming performance, and in our synthetics the Blade is offering impressive numbers. But once again, they are within just a few percentage points compared to the competition or the Razer's 2025 predecessor. Our 1080p gaming rating shows the same overall picture, and the Razer is simply excellent, whether you are into ray-traced GPU-bound story games or faster titles that tax both the CPU and RTX 5090 equally. Looking at Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate in QHD and 4K, well, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the Blade 18 is again one of the fastest gaming laptops you can get your hands on right now without being able to really set itself apart from something like the Alienware 18 Area 51 I mentioned earlier, or Lenovo's flagship, the Legion 9 from 2025 as well. And I know some of you think it does not really make sense to put a 4K display in a laptop, even if it's an 18-inch panel, but I respectfully have to disagree, since especially with the help of DLSS and MFG, you can easily get things going with pretty decent frame rates. So I was playing a few hours of Assassin's Creed Black Flag on this one and easily got around 60-ish FPS with DLSS in quality, while using MFG bumps things up to a super smooth 100 FPS plus experience, no problem. And hey, it's not like you can't reduce the resolution in game, which still looks great. And again, you still have the dual mode option at your disposal. I mentioned fan noise for the Blade 18 earlier, and as you can see from our initial testing for the different performance modes, the Blade is actually very well behaved in both its balanced, but also especially in its performance mode, staying below 50 decibels, which is pretty uncommon for laptops with this kind of performance. We still use turbo for our measurements because of the added headroom in the CPU department, but I mostly left the hefty notebook at performance or balanced for an almost quiet computing experience, whether we are talking gaming or work. But please hear for yourself, as always, we did record some noise samples for you guys. Similar to last year, the Razer Blade 18 once again also proves that incredibly powerful laptops can also offer decent battery life. And while it basically offers the same number as the 2025 model, no other 18-inch laptop even comes close. So this puppy is once again one of the most flexible and, let's say, most mobile options in this performance tier and form factor. Alright folks, time to wrap it up. The Razer Blade 18 is simply an excellent laptop, and if you need what it offers, the price is probably secondary here, since you are probably also making money with your notebook. For everyone else, the Blade 18 will most likely be something that will stay out of reach as this sort of luxury halo product with a simply eye-watering price tag. This was already true last year, and the ongoing memory and storage crisis made things even worse, and I really hope that Razer somehow manages to sell enough of these beauties to make it through the next few years unscathed, since I would imagine, being a smaller laptop maker with a mostly high-end portfolio, well, things are probably a lot more complicated than for the bigger players with a more diverse portfolio. But as always, let me know what you think about this one and if you plan to invest in a high-end laptop in 2026. I would really like to hear your opinions here. Please leave a like and sub on your way out, and maybe check out our video from 2025 for the Blade 18 or any of its other high-end 18-inch contenders. We pretty much tested all of them on the channel and the website. Thanks a ton for watching, good people. My name is Alex, you have been absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.